Alright, it is Friday, May 10th, 2019 at 12:48 p.m. Let's take a look at some of these headlines. Great Lakes water levels at precipice of a disaster, with flooding occurring or imminent in New York, Ohio, and Michigan. Water levels on the Great Lakes are running high and could approach record territory this summer. New York State is bracing for flooding along the shoreline of Lake Ontario. Lakeshore flooding is already occurring in northwest Ohio and southeastern Michigan. Great Lakes tributary waters have been filled by numerous spring rain events in the central U.S. Recent rainfall has already high levels of water surging in the Great Lakes, contributing to flooding along lake shores in parts of Ohio and Michigan, and New York is expected to follow suit in the days ahead. Areas along the Lake Ontario shoreline are at the precipice of a disaster, according to New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, and forecasts for additional rain threaten to push water levels past flood levels. The worst of the flooding from heavy rain and snowmelt is expected to occur in a matter of days, and officials are concerned that stronger winds late this week into the weekend could churn up potentially damaging waves. New York State deployed more than 800,000 sandbags, hundreds of pumps, and 920 feet of temporary dams in 8 counties along Lake Ontario in preparation for potential flooding, according to the Associated Press, and members of the New York National Guard are on standby. Rising waters resulted in extensive damage along the lakeshore in 2017. The flooding cost the Empire State $100 million in recovery funding, according to the AP. There are also lakeshore flooding concerns north of the border in Ontario, Canada, where the Toronto Region Conservation Authority has issued a shoreline hazard warning until further notice. The Toronto Islands and other lakeshore communities in Ontario felt effects similar to New York State in 2017, when the high water levels on Lake Ontario and significant flooding devastated the area. So there's flooding happening all up New York, Ohio, and Michigan. Let's take a look at the next one. Texas flooding. Water-soaked Houston braces for more serious flooding from heavy rains. The Houston Fire Department, which fielded more than 75 water-related calls late Thursday, urged motorists Friday to stay off the roads and to avoid more flash flooding from a storm system lingering in the western Gulf of Mexico. There's no sense of putting yourself and first responders, firefighters, or anybody in danger needlessly, the Houston Fire Chief Samuel Pena said. The ground is saturated, he said. It is in perfect condition for flash flooding. We encourage you to stay home. Among the scores of calls of stranded motorists was a report of a vehicle upside down in a water-filled ditch. Teams were able to extract a lone occupant who was alive but unconscious. The rain stemmed from a cold front in the western Gulf that is setting up a multi-day period of heavy, extreme rainfall, the National Weather Service said. Also here, is Houston the nation's flood capital? Houston experiences multiple flooding events almost every year and has been hit by major destructive floods since the founding over 180 years ago. So is Houston the flood capital? That is something that is worth pondering, because I think it was when Harvey came, there was a giant flood, and then also Tropical Storm Allison as well. There was the most recent extreme flooding events, but there's still flooding happening right now because of all the rain. Let's take a look quickly here at the satellite, and you see here the storms happening over the Houston area, over Louisiana, and parts of Mississippi, and that's gonna be there for a couple of days. So yeah, that's it for this video. Hit like and subscribe for more, and please be aware, if you live in those areas, please find safety and see if your neighbors need help, because when you're dealing with flooding, you never know when somebody down the road or somebody who lives right next to you could be in danger in these treacherous conditions. Alright, hit like and subscribe for more. See you guys next time. God bless.